We need to talk.
What about?
We need a team of experts.
We're your team of experts.
I have some questions for you.
So do I.
We want to start a family. Should we make the move to a larger house right away, or are there some things that we should consider before we move?
That's a great question, and my name's Denise Ruiz, and I'm with Century 21 and Team Wilson, and we would love to help you evaluate whether now is the right time to think about moving up to your next home before having children, or if you'd be better off considering your budget and everything else and waiting till after a child is born. It's a big decision, and it's great that you guys are both thinking about this choice right now. And you know, either way is actually an option. If your quarters that you're living in now are just too small to accommodate the child, the crib, the playpen, the stroller, the toys, and everything else that goes along with a child, then yeah, beforehand might be an option. Or it may be better when you're a little bit less emotional and not pregnant to think about it after the child is born. But either way, we would be happy to sit and meet with you and discuss your options and review your choices.
Should we have our insurance review now that we're married and thinking about having children?
You know, that's a good question about when you should have your insurance reviewed. I'm Jerry Maynard with New York Life, and anytime you have a major change in your family, whether you're buying a house, thinking about having children, getting married, it's a good time to go back, review your coverage, make sure you have everything in place, check your beneficiaries, make sure you have everything lined up for the correct people, and then go through and analyze what's your situation, where you're going in the future, and we'll look at all that, run the numbers, and see if we can come up with what are the best options, give you 2 or 3 options for what you can do to make sure that you, your current spouse, and that your children are taken care of for the future.
Should we cash out our 401k and buy our house and pay off all of our debts?
That's a great question. Judd Pyatt, I work with New York Life as a financial services professional. Many things for you to consider as far as whether or not you should cash out your 401k to buy a new home. First thing is that you will have tax penalty, an early withdrawal penalty, and then you'll have current tax penalties on top of that. So another main thing for you to consider. And the other thing is, if you did go bankrupt or something like that, you wouldn't want to use secure money to pay for non-secure stuff. So please remember that. And you're both so young, you really want to look at doing other options for you as far as buying a new home.
My friend's wife joined a gym, started staying out late, and seems to have lost all interest in him. Am I crazy to think she might be cheating?
You know, as a divorce lawyer, I get that sort of question quite a bit. I'm Donna Green with Green Family Law. And your friend's situation actually kind of rings all 3 of the telltale signs that I've come across, that I've seen over the years in my practice. First would be unexplained absences. And so if you have a situation where your spouse is suddenly not home when he or she always used to be, or has become very secretive about cell phone use and text messages, that can be one sign. The second recurring sign that I often see would be changes in the bedroom. And you say your friend has told you that his wife's really lost interest in him. Changes in the bedroom, surprisingly, can be not only that the spouse has lost interest, but sometimes that they're showing more interest or wanting to try things that they've never wanted to try in the last 20 years of your marriage. And then finally, another telltale sign would be changes in appearance. And that can be anything from changing the clothes they wear, the hairstyles, tanning, teeth whitening, joining the gym, and my favorite is where I will frequently hear that a spouse is beginning to wax things that have never been waxed before. So those would be my telltale signs that your spouse could be having an affair.
Should I stay in the marriage for the sake of the children?
So the answer to that is yes and no. I am Carrie Valdez. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a Love and Logic parent trainer. So you should definitely not leave the marriage if you are not strong in your convictions about getting out. You need to feel confident because you are the one that's going to help the children to get through this. It's going to be very stressful and emotional for them as well. You should definitely get out if there is abuse, domestic violence, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. Your children's relationships are reflected in yours. So your kids will have relationships based on you, and you are the role model for that. So if you are in an abusive relationship, it is going to be best for you to get out so that your children have a healthier vision of what a relationship is supposed to be like.
We've always done our own taxes, and we want to get back as much as possible. Now that there are two of us, what should we do?
G'day, I'm Dr. Friday and I'm your money doctor. And this is a very common question, and believe it or not, so many times a married couple, when they first file after they've gotten married, end up paying taxes. Why? Because so often when you're single and zero and the other person might be claiming single and one if they've got a child, then what happens is they don't have enough come out of their check. Their income merged together and you end up in a higher tax bracket as a joint filer. And it doesn't help if you file married filing separately unless you're making more than $250,000. It's really not going to do a big difference unless you want the innocent spouse situation. So it's really, really important. When you get married, I know the last thing you want to think about is taxes, but it is one of those things you really need to sit down with your tax expert and make sure that you adjust your W-4s to make sure you have the proper amount of taxes coming out so that you're not arguing come January, because usually one's like, I always get a refund, and now I married you, I'm not getting one. So you want to make sure you can avoid all those arguments by just adjusting your W-4 before the filing time.